What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Open Mic Night here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham multiverse of media, as it were. And we thought we weren't going to have him for this episode, so we reached out and approached some special guests to come in and kind of be on the show for him this evening. But Jeff is actually able to drop in and make a brief appearance from the happiest place on earth, the original Magic Kingdom, if you will. Jeff, we appreciate you popping in to join us today. Noah, thank you for joining us as always. I see you just cracked up a tasty beverage. I told Jeff off air, I actually have myself a little Russian roulette of beverages here. I've got my generic Dr. Pepper, the Dr. Thunder that I'm always sipping on. I have a nice small glass of seasonal eggnog, and I got a shot of Fireball from when James gets in so we can celebrate his birthday in style.
Oh, Lord.
Stat Boy, one of the many that decided to join us this evening in what was going to be Jeff's absence. Thank you for tuning in and joining us today. We also should have Big Baller G coming in at some point, Josh Mansfield at some point.
Oh.
And then, of course, James notified me that he'd be a few minutes late, that he'd probably be a little bit after the opening of the show. So he'll be coming in as normal. We got a packed house tonight. A sold out standing room only crowd, if you will.
Nice.
Matt, what is going on? Thank you for your support as always. Yes, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Nathan, how's it going? Daniel says it's open mic night plus it's horror movie month. Absolutely. Those of you that tuned in earlier today saw my review of Don't Worry Darling for new release Saturday, as well as the original Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. Daniel says he's watching this and enjoying H2O. Awesome. H2O is one of my favorites from that franchise. So it's good to know that somebody else enjoys it too. James, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, sorry.
As always.
Sorry, I had to be fashionably late. I had to be tech support guy for about an hour. So.
No worries.
Oh, hello, Jeff.
Yes,
that was scary there for a minute.
Mr. Meacham was able to pop in a little bit from the happiest place on earth.
Nice.
Indeed.
Very nice.
He is awaiting the performance of Phantasmic along the rivers of America. No?
No. I'm speaking with glee.
Oh.
Mikey, for purposes of reference for you, the Mark Twain landing, right here.
I know exactly where you are, brother. I still haven't forgotten what Disneyland looks like.
It has been a while, my friend. We'll have to get you out here soon.
We will.
Yes. Well, now that he is here, let me go ahead and in style, James, happy birthday, good sir.
Thank you, my friend. Ooh, I heard we got spicy topics for the birthday.
Well, we've got a bunch that you suggested, but we're going to plow through the first couple that I came up with first.
Perfect.
And first topic on the agenda, we're just going to jump right into it, and the others, like I said, can join in once they get in the room. Has Tony Khan finally lost his ever-loving mind? Amidst all the turmoil from the media scrum that occurred a few weeks ago, he's now officially signed Roosh to the AEW roster. Supposedly, feelers and contracts have been presented to Bandito and Juice Robertson. Amidst all the other, crap that's going on with the Elite, Punk, etc. The rumored Malachi Black release, which we'll get into down the road. But then not only all of that, he's decided to put Battle of the Belts up against Bound for Glory and the Go Home SmackDown, the season premiere of SmackDown, with Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. So, like I said, and since his time here is limited, I will go to Jeff first. Jeff, has Tony Khan finally officially lost his ever-loving mind?
I think it's safe to say that one cannot lose, one did not have in the first place. Look, we've not purposely, we've all kind of bagged on Tony since Chicago, and probably rightfully so on a lot of fronts, right? But to if rumor and innuendo are to be believed, and Lord knows we should believe everything we read on the internet, right, kids?
Right.
Only if it's posted on nodq.com. Continue.
This is also accurate. That's a very good point, Renegade. Yes, without question.
I like to know his face there, 100%, just so I don't miss my cue.
Yeah. Hashtag stick to your stick. I know not Walter, but stick to your stick anyway. I don't know what to think, and again, this is me trying to choose my words carefully, considering where I am and what I do here when I'm not out of costume. Gotta be a good little boy, but I don't know. I mean, what we saw at the media scrum definitely looked like he had lost control of everything. Yet on Dynamite the next week, he seemed like he had got put himself back together. But now we hear all the stuff that's allegedly going on backstage. No, not releasing anybody. Malachi Black's held hostage. Again, we'll talk about that later. I'm sure, but I'm already gone. I don't necessarily disagree with signing Reach or Bandito or the things the people are being signed, because you need talented people on the roster. And whether Reach and Bandito stick to just AEW, whether they migrate back into Ring of Honor, that's kind of irrelevant. They are one and the same for me. At least till they get an official deal. At least till they're actually a presence on TV in and of themselves. However, putting a Battle of the Belts special, which tends to be a pretty good draw and usually a decent card for that company, up against Down for Glory, which, us in this room at least tend to favor Impact Wrestling because we actually recognize it's still a thing, unlike some other people that forget that the company still exists. And not only that, but going up against the season premiere of SmackDown on Fox with Roman and Logan showing up to confront each other, or whatever the case may be.
Not to mention the rematch of Sheamus versus Walter.
Yeah, right. That is, as a certain person who's currently trying to create, used to say back in his heel running the company days, bad for business. Definitely not best for business. Has he lost his mind? No. Is he trying too hard to do too many things at once? Without a doubt.
Yep.
Elizabeth, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming in.
Hassan, hello. Noah, we're going to throw it to you now. You and James are the biggest TK supporters, AEW supporters that I really know.
Well, are you sure about that? I haven't been lately.
Well, okay. Post media scrum, there's definitely been a huge question mark for James, but prior to, you guys were like painted AEW because you sure as hell weren't painted WWE.
Yeah.
Noah, what do you think about these announcements and everything? Has Tony finally lost his mind?
I just feel it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you had to push the pedal to the metal, and he felt that he was in a unwinnable situation. But the best way to get more eyes on the product as once is you already got this going on during anniversary week. You already got it all going on in the same venue. Why not put them on back to back? It might just be another testing ground to see can 2-hour Rampage work at that time. Since AEW Rampage will be on 10 p.m. Standard Time at night, as well as Battle Belts following right after that. It's one of those things where I'm not the man. I don't know what really goes to decision, but I consider all the factors that could go into it, whether it is booking, whether it's airtime, whether it is sports schedules, damn it, or other things. I would not say he lost his mind. I feel any booker, any promoter in this industry at some point eventually feels a bit pressured to put more product out against the other competition at a more viewable time or competitive time, to say the least. But no, at the end of the day, I feel that this is just a business decision. So 2-hour Rampage Friday night during a pay-per-view. Keep in mind, free TV, pay-per-view, you see who approaches it more. Fox, TNT, you see who watches it more, especially during that time. WWE or AEW, you see who watches it more. Sports entertainment versus professional wrestling, you see who watches it more. I feel he's just testing the waters here. Plus, it's the anniversary week, so why not try something new and a brand new start to your show seasons too? Tony Khan's going to be Tony Khan. As far as his mentality, no one's going to know what's going on with that except for that man, even if he denies it.
That's fair. Report Card Radio. Mikey, how's it going? Good to see you. Elizabeth Delgado says, Jeff in the dark. Her aunt and her rode home in the dark.
Yeah.
She hates the dark. You know, considering Jeff is on the Rivers of America there at the Mark Twain Landing, would you say that Jeff is fishing in the dark?
Good evening. You know who I am. If you get that
Hassan
joke, you're old
points
enough for
out-
us. Good, there you go.
Hassan points out Extreme Rules is next Saturday night. Absolutely. We'll get to that during the plugs, but make sure you tune in for our coverage on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, across the entire multiverse of media. We're going to be getting down and dirty with Extreme Rules in Philadelphia.
Or no. Conservative suggestions.
No.
No.
This
Actually,
show, Jeff is actually looking forward to, so it's going by its actual name.
But that's funny.
Conservative Suggestions was a good name, but
yes.
Extreme Rules Philadelphia, Paul Heyman on the promo. Every match so far has got a rule to it. Again, we'll get there when we get there. They're doing this card right, damn it. So Conservative Suggestions went out the window and it's back to Extreme Rules. But James, what do you think about Tony Khan and the signing of Roosh, the possible contracts to Juice and Bandito, you know, and then running Battle of the Belts against the season premiere of SmackDown and Bound for Glory? Mikey, make sure you get your thoughts together. You're coming up next.
Well, there's a few things that come to mind, obviously, with the signees that he made. I'm not against the signees he made.
Me neither.
So long as, you know, he does something good with them, which Tony, for the most part, usually does. I mean, you can't feature everybody at the top of the card. You got to have the filler people every now and again. But considering they have a trios division, I don't think that should be the case anyway. So hopefully they have something planned with these guys in the future going forward. Because Los Ingobernables needs that. As far as, well, let's think. You know, the feelers that he's made for the other talent that he's looking to bring in, again, I think it really comes down to he's looking to build his roster in case he loses people, which, you know, is always a fear anyway. I think it's a reasonable fear. Like, you're going to go through changes anyway. So it's good to have the talent on stock that are chomping at the bit for an opportunity. And then if people do leave, you could slot them right in there to have a, you know, have a spot essentially.
And
So
that's in the future.
You know, that's pretty good there. But I think there's a lot of problems that I personally have, only in that he's doing all of this, and it feels like he's doing all of this because he feels pressured by WWE, especially now in the Hunter era. I guess he's really hammering down on them, giving some big stick diplomacy, if you will, which, I mean, all he really had to do was ignore it. I think he would have been fine. I think he's got a lot of in-house problems he needs to sort out before he even worries about what the hell WWE is doing.
Absolutely, and we'll get there
honest.
later.
God. It really comes down to this. I feel like the main reason he signed these people is to make people know, okay, well, I'm gonna sign new talent. If you don't want to freaking work, I'll just put these guys in your spot. I don't know if that's really effective. I keep going back to what Conan said. You want to discipline the people that caused that BS at All Out, freeze their fucking contracts. Plain and simple. Freeze their contracts. They can't work. They can't go and sit on their ass. They have to come to work eventually at some point after the suspensions. So if they're not willing to work together, don't try to buy out anybody's contract. Don't try to sign these guys just to show, hey, I can replace these guys easily with these guys. No. Freeze these fuckers' contracts. Because at the end of the day, they had their petty BU shit happen on your dime and on your time. Start showing some big stick diplomacy for your own locker room and stop worrying about what WWE is doing, as we covered last week. For the love of fucking God, Tony.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think why I'm so concerned about it is the fact that they've got all this talent that they've already signed up,
Right.
that they're barely doing anything with.
Right.
You know, so what's the point in adding these 3 guys to the roster potentially? And I disagree with you, Mikey. I like Roosh. Everything I've seen out of him
Roosh is good.
really good.
Roosh is
Roosh
a
is
very
Wait a minute. I
good
haven't said
signing.
anything yet.
Not
Different
you,
Mike.
Mikey.
No, different
Report
Mike.
Card Radio's name
Yeah,
is Mikey T.
report. Yeah, there's a lot of Mikeys in the chat. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
We
so
ain't
calm
talking about
down.
you.
Calm down. And then
Let's
there's
let
also
JJ finish
King
his
Mike
report.
X. Well, it's another Mike, okay? Chill.
There's so many
Everyone
Mikes.
relax.
Your tag says Stat Boy. I'll refer to you as Stat Boy on the show so that there's no confusion when I say Mikey, since
Just
say-
Mikey T is in the room also.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
getting back to my point, you know, he's got enough buzz that getting him off of the market, I totally understand the business sense of that.
Well, I mean,
But-
is he really getting him
and
off
then-
the market? He'll probably
then-
put him in other places anyway.
And then the fact that he signed him on his birthday, you know, that's just a cool little moment in of
Well,
itself.
that's pretty cool. Happy birthday to Roosh. Wait,
But
what day's his birthday?
I forget what day they announced it. It was either Wednesday or Thursday.
Bro, if it's Thursday, yo, Roosh, I'm Los Ingobernables. Hey,
But-
89
James, you are
boys,
the
let's
fuck-
go.
James, you are the farthest face from Tranquilo I have ever engaged with in my life.
Hey, hey, I can learn, kind of.
But it's like Tony needs to use these guys on the roster. And we discussed last week about how they're finally starting to move in the right direction with the fact that Jericho got the ROH title, the fact that the Acclaimed are the tag belts, you know. But do we really need to sign more people when you're having hard enough time controlling the roster that you have? Stat Boy, you're the last one to speak on the topic. Go ahead.
My question is, well, the answer to the question is this. Has he lost his mind? Yes. Does he know what he's doing? No. Why do you need the most hated guy in CL to join AEW? Okay. What's the point, really? You just brought in Saraya. You brought in Paige. That was a good name. That was a good name to bring in. What are you doing? You know, it's like he's like, I'll take this guy, I'll take this guy, I'll take this guy. And then what are we going to do with him? Where is he going to go? What's his buzz? He doesn't have one. Is AEW, you know, trying to build an international market? How many luchadors are in AEW right now? I have no idea.
They've
Do
got
they
a
have
good
the
amount.
answer?
I definitely think they are trying to build an international market.
Yeah, there's no
You
doubt
know.
about that.
You know,
So-
I wouldn't say that Tony isn't smart, because he's a smart enough businessman that when they started, they went the complete opposite direction of WWE, and for a while it was working for them.
Yep.
When they started to have trouble is when Vince retired and Hunter took back over. And ever since
Before
then,
that, pal.
well, but that's when they really started to struggle.
Right.
You know, because Triple H is a fan of the business just like Tony is. That's why he's the game. He studied this business. He grew up in this business. He loves this business. So he knows what the average fan wants because he knows what he wants to see.
Yep.
And what he wants to see isn't what Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, and all those guys want to see, because there's at least a 25-year difference.
I'll answer Mikey's question with my own question to Mikey. Do you not think that he might be signing Roos and all these other guys maybe to try to bolster up some of that Ring of Honor roster as well that they're trying to get on TV?
James, get on my head.
I'm saying no to that. I'm thinking he needs that one key element. He needs that one key person. And I don't think it's happened yet. Yeah, he got Punk. Yeah, he got Moxley. Yeah, he got Jericho. Yeah, he got all. There's still more bigger names out there that will jump. And if he does that, then AEW can finally settle down and level off and be good. You know, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I don't know who that big name person is. They're out there. They know who they are probably. But
Well,
when
it's MJF. It's MJF though.
MJF is fine where he's doing. MJF is pissing off people left and right.
And MJF's the biggest draw. Has gotten 1 million 5 weeks straight.
Exactly.
Yep.
So why do you need? Here's another question: why do you need another wrestler that's just going to piss everybody off when MJF is doing it without even lifting a finger?
I mean, Christian does a good job of it too.
Oh, come on, Christian! Really? Christian's
been great.
Christian can't hold a candle to MJF right now. Christian would not piss me off if he was standing 5 feet in front of me. MJF would piss me off in a heartbeat. I could walk up I could see MJF walking down the street, walk up to him, and he will just give me that evil death stare. Christian will not do that. MJF will.
Dude, have you heard the stuff Christian's been saying to the Jungle Boy Jack Perry?
Yeah, man.
Holy shit. Like, Christian is going like uber heel.
Christian's actually getting more booed than Max is right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, people are welcoming in the devil and booing out the instant classic. Let that sink in for a moment.
Captain Charisma, Christian Cage, is like the most over as a heel I have ever seen him in my life.
Yeah.
Except for maybe when he originally turned on Edge after he had that King of the Ring win. Because Christian got pretty over as a heel then, but he's way over now.
But there's no denying that, and as far as that moment goes, that's debatable. But also, you talk about signing talent. There is the ROH rumor. There is also maybe just damage control in a competitive market. You always want to invest in the future, and also, no matter what industry you work in or company, you work in this industry, you're always going to have that problem of an overinflated roster. WWE's booking has been better under the Triple H era. I cannot deny it, but they still have their flaws too, and there's still some talent that isn't being fully utilized either. So, as far as the booking mentality of putting these people before these people or putting people in the spots of other people, that's harder to juggle, but at least AEW tries every week.
Agreed. Yeah. Teen Mike X brings up a decent point. Roster split, Rampage versus Dynamite. I don't think Rampage would be a good show to have a roster split.
Not right now in this time slot. No.
I'll say what my recommendation, X. It's got to be Impact. If I'm Tony, yeah, you're going to get more people involved with that. But if I'm Tony, I'm making any move I can to make an acquisition to buy Impact Wrestling.
That ain't going to happen.
I know it won't, but think of it like this. You already have a long-standing history with Impact. You then have a lot of the guys that you aren't using you could put on television. And then essentially you have Ring of Honor too. So as long as you can get Ring of Honor on TV, then you're pretty much set.
Yeah, see, I think a roster split of AEW versus Ring of Honor would make more sense, but ROH needs a deal first.
And again, for all we know, that's still something just waiting to happen. Again, we're not Tony Khan, we're not businessmen. We don't know what goes into, let alone ushering in a streaming deal.
Psycho Jet Black, it's because Jeff wants to lose himself in the music.
Yeah, and Jeff had his hand up and he was like, I am whatever you say I am.
He's Jeff Meacham, the real Jeff Meacham.
We're gonna have a problem here.
Thank you.
Oh boy, got a problem here.
Oh boy,
you act like you've never seen a mouse before.
Well, thank you, Mikey T. I appreciate the fact that you agree with what I said there.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I think you actually made my point for me, James. They have a perfectly good built-in. Actually, JJ made the point. James started to make the point. JJ agreed, and that's what he was going to say in the first place. Ring of Honor is a built-in roster battle right there. Just that's why you sign Roosh. That's why you sign Bandito. That's why you sign Juice, because they're Ring of Honor guys. Yeah, Juice is more New Japan nowadays. I grant you, but yeah, you get those guys, and then you really completely split the roster. I'm not saying take Claudio or Brian or those guys off of AWTV necessarily, but Brian is very much Ring of Honor through and through, which is why I still say the program with Jericho is just it's written right there for Tony to just go, yeah, do this. They have enough people on the roster that either have worked Ring of Honor before or can very easily adapt to that style, that brand, and have that label on them without signing even more freaking people and get Impact involved in that hodgepodge of craziness that AEW Ring of Honor already is.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
and again, I'm not saying I wouldn't mind seeing Impact get brought back up to Glory without Glory coming back, but AEW has enough on their plate, and Impact's
Right.
plate is pretty tasty right now without having AEW overseeing them and muddling them up.
Yeah, probably a little bit. Yeah, I only mentioned maybe buying Impact only if for no other reason that while most Impact is great, it really is. It's probably the most complete wrestling product out there right now, at least on American soil.
Dude, Psycho, I want no part of Max Caster battle rap, by the way. I want zero to do with that. I will get roasted, toasted, burnt to a crisp. No, thank you. I'm good.
yeah, no,
Nope.
that won't go. That won't go.
All
Well.
Jeff wants is to scissor daddy ass, but I digress.
Lord.
Whoa!
That would have been a much longer cruise, by the way. That's a whole other story.
But yeah, no. I only brought it up because that way you could at least add to Impact, because I feel like they miss a lot of teams with their tag division a little bit, and that's kind of why I'm thinking you at least
my only the first thing I thought of when you said that, James, about them buying Impact is Jim Crockett buying out Watts, buying out all these territories, and that ultimately led to their crumbling, which is why Turner bought the company in the first place. So that's one way I go, no, bad.
Well, the difference between that and this though would be that if Tony Khan were to buy Impact, he'd probably put it on a bigger network with more eyeballs. You know what I mean? So I mean,
right. So
not denying that.
To answer the comment earlier that was referencing The Dark Knight Rises, I posted that exact quote from Bane in between 10 years ago when the Kings won the cup and now, and the new fans are going, oh God, the Kings are so bad. It's hard to be a Kings fan. I'm like, look, motherfucker. You may be living in the dark now. I was born and fortified by it. I've been watching these guys since the 80s. You go back to 83 and tell me the Kings now are bad. Shut your face. So yes, I was very much molded by the dark. I just happened to be here. Just like the one spot on the Where's America where the light isn't hitting me directly. It happens to work out that way.
For the record,
anyway.
We've already gotten our first NXT 2.0 comment. Noah, can you give it to us one time real quick?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm sorry. I was working on something for church. What's going on here?
Yes.
Stop my NXT! Damn it.
Speaking of WWE, by the way, did anybody see the news that freaking Daniel Cormier is going to ref Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins?
No, I did not.
That just came out 2 hours ago. He's reffing their match at Extreme Rules. That's fucking
This is what happens when I go off the grid for a while and stimulate with the mouse. I miss stuff like that. Oh darn.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it, man. I love me DC. DC, man, he got so fucked over by John Bones Jones, dude. Oh, I hate him. I hate him so much.
Cormier's been in the news a lot.
Dude.
I like Batman, but I was never a big fan of Superman, so you know.
Good evening, friends. Tonight we're thrilled to once again present a classic Disney.
Well, that's probably Jeff's cue to go, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's probably showtime for Jeff.
Showtime, folks.
It's got about 30 minutes. It's just the announcer starting the hype up. You know, in 30 minutes, the Rivers of America will transform into a nightly spectacle.
30 minutes away from the return.
I got you, yeah. You were right on the money.
I've seen that show enough times that I've pretty much got the spiel memorized.
Fair enough.
Some imagination, huh? But anyways, now that we have finished the Tony Khan conversation, for now, we're going to move into an interesting tidbit that I saw regarding one Mercedes Vernado.
Ooh.
Don't worry, this has nothing to do with her return or anything like that we've discussed quite a few times along multiple shows. But she went on a radio show the other day and said that she wanted to try to claim all the IPs that she has been a part of. She says, you always want to create characters to portray and live by. You're a character right now. I'm sure once you get off your headsets, you're someone completely different. We're always portraying different characters in every moment of our time. For me, it's really just owning my IP, or intellectual property, and owning the character behind the character and really defining who the character is that's playing the character. It's really just finding yourself. When it comes to even wrestling, that's a character that I come up with and I portray myself, and you have your writers coming in and giving a little more details of what they see for it. It's really when it comes to characters in your life, it's what you see for that character because only you know how you're going to play it. And only you know how you see the vision of that character.
Fair point.
So the question on hand here is, should Mercedes Sasha be able to own Sasha Banks, own Casca Reeves, the character she plays in The Mandalorian, and be able to use those names for herself for her marketing without WWE owning Sasha Banks, Star Wars / Lucasfilm / Disney / whoever owning Casca Reeves? James, you got your hand up. You can go ahead and go first.
So I have an interesting tidbit on this because it's funny we're actually talking about this IP discussion now because I'm not against the person who created the character getting a majority ownership for that. It's basically the same reason why I say, Twitch streamers should get that 70-30, and the fact that they're going to 50-50 is a crock of shit, by the way, Twitch. Fuck you for that. And the fact that, freaking record labels and the mess they've been for years for music artists, everybody's saying they should be doing 730. I think it should be similar in that regard as well. I don't think she should own the entire IP, but a good 70-30 split, I think that's probably the fairest you should go. I don't see a problem with that at all. When it comes to wrestling, the issue I have is the Mandalorian character, because that wasn't really created by her. That was a character that was strictly created by the Star Wars writers for the Star Wars universe. If anything, she shouldn't even be getting anywhere near the majority of that. That's insanity. If she thinks that's even fathomable. Come on.
Fair.
Talk about having a huger ego.
Yeah, exactly.
Mikey, I saw your hand go up. Go ahead if you'd like to rebuttal to that.
I'm going to say flat out no. She is portraying a character that I do not believe she created. Definitely with the Star Wars character, you are absolutely right. Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever currently is being owned, produced by The Mandalorian, that is their character. They came up with the artwork. They came up with the backstory. Mercedes is just an actress playing that role and bringing that role to life, and she is getting paid for that job. She should not own any part of it, because if it's Disney, if it's Star Wars, good luck trying to get that character out of their ownership and into yours. And now, as far as Sasha Banks goes, if she was part of the creative process, if she actually put in a little bit of work to make that character come to life, like if she actually created that character, then it might be okay. But if it's all the WWE people,
right,
costumers, artists, whoever came up with the idea of Sasha Banks owns that character. If you want that so bad, you're going to pay for it, okay? Flat out. And you're going to pay a ton of money for it. Yes, you were getting paid to play a character. You are probably getting paid a small portion every time somebody buys a Sasha Banks figure, or somebody buys a poster, or somebody buys that, okay? Now, as far as creating characters, okay, yes, I could possibly even see myself as a character, but I didn't even really I don't even believe that I did create a Stat Boy character. And when I'm not on camera, I'm still doing Stat Boy stuff. I am a numbers person. So I'm not going to go out there and say, to every other statistician in the world, hey, you're taking my gimmick, you're taking this, you owe me money. I'm not going to do that because I don't believe I'm playing a character. I'm playing myself. This is the way I am in real life. I constantly am looking at numbers left and right, whether I'm working, whether I'm shopping, whether I'm doing my finances, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm not playing a character. I'm playing me. It's that simple.
Sasha, and you can make the argument that Sasha was playing Mercedes as Sasha as well. I think I'm in full agreement with what you said, pretty much, because if she created it, then there's no question to me that she should own a majority of the rights.
Before we go to Noah, Psycho Jet Black says Stat Boy reminds me of Virtue with the sunglasses.
Oh boy.
These are the closest thing I have to Coolio sunglasses, so I'm wearing them for Coolio.
Got it. Okay.
Respect.
Noah, what do you think about this?
Well, again, talking about intellectual property and what you feel you're entitled to, there's a balance between being right from a personal standpoint and feeling entitled from a business standpoint. And to convey both the points of Statboy and James, it really comes down to, as far as the Sasha Banks character, did she had any real influence in the original origins of the character being developed? That goes all the way back to our James, Black and Gold NXT under the great mind influence of Dusty Rhodes, who was just sitting in a rocking chair and believed that this girl could be the face of the company. And of course, she became that later on. So whether or not Sasha Banks was involved in the original creation of said character and then was evolved through the progression of it, that's really what that comes down to. But as far as Lucasfilms, you don't even have to be a Disney fan or a Star Wars fan to realize The Mandalorian was not originally conceived by Mercedes. She has zero rights to that IP, in my opinion. And as far as WWE goes, if Sasha was the one to originally bring the character forward, yes, she deserves some rights to it. If she wasn't, then she also has no say in that either. It's WWE property at the end of the day from that standpoint.
I can't wait for Sasha Banks to be like Stokely Hathaway and create her own firm. Like, is Robert Downey Jr. going to come in and he's like, I own Iron Man because I'm actually a Playboy philanthropist? Let me have it.
I'm just saying, Robert Downey Jr. was Tony Stark before he got cast as Tony Stark, but I digress.
So it's like,
I mean, if you look at Robert Downey Jr.'s history and the stuff that he got arrested for and busted for and his drug life and his alcoholism, he was being Tony Stark for real before he ever got clean and then cast as Tony Stark. That's why the casting of him was so freaking perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean,
experience.
Noah, do you see this comment from Elizabeth here?
I do.
Yeah.
And again, as far as me, I'm just simple. I'm literally just the guy that engages on this conversation as I learned it on the spot, giving you my standpoint. As far as outside of this, I'm just the guy behind a computer that just works for a living helping people troubleshoot technology.
I agree.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like when I get on the microphone here and I put the headsets on, I turn into the Renegade, you know, but when I take the headsets off and I close the laptop up, I'm just JJ. I'm a dad, you know, I take care of my family. I work for a living. It's just me, you know. Jeff, as the one here, not just broadcasting from inside the Mouse House, but actually, you know, with a name badge saying that you work for him. How do you handle this topic? What do you have to say about it?
With kid gloves. Okay. Okay. As far as Sasha, okay. We if you've watched documentaries about her over the years, you know that she took a lot of the characters she was using in the indies and very much molded that into what became the boss, Sasha Banks. So the argument is definitely there where there could be a split of IP. No doubt about that, at least in my fan mind. The character on Mandalorian, here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to end with this. We're going to get to the 15-minute mark here pretty soon. It's going to be very loud, and I got to set up my camera for the other stuff. If she thinks she owns the character from the Star Wars universe, I'll make sure I go to Team Disney Anaheim Warning and register the trademark for food and beverage steward at the French Cafe, because I clearly own that, playing that role now. Like, seriously. That is, if she honestly believes that's the case, that is bad business, and she's about as delusional as we portrayed Tony Khan in segment 1.
Yeah.
There we go.
'Cause,
Before you say
I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, John, at best, that's a John Favreau creation that's now owned by my surroundings.
Before you sign off, Jeff, and we'll go quickly around the horn before we move to the next topic. Hunchback or Beauty and the Beast? Better Disney movie?
Beauty and the Beast was the only animated movie to ever be nominated for an Academy Award. Here's your answer. As far as for Best Picture, here's your
Jeff,
answer.
thank you for popping in and joining us while you could. We will
You guys
see
have a
when we
wonderful
see you
night.
next.
I know you're going to kick butt in my absence, and JJ, Mikey, you know in particular, I'm going to be a giddy little ginger boy here in about 10 minutes. So,
there we go.
Night, guys.
Take it
care.
easy, Meech.
See you, brother.
James, go ahead. No, Hunchback or Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, probably. I guess.
Noah?
What? Movie question? I've seen neither.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. Doesn't shock me at all. This is you're acting shocked, Stat Boy, but this is what we're talking about here. I'm surprised.
Sports is one thing, but come on, Noah, this is Disney here.
Well, I already know Mikey's going to pick Beauty and the Beast.
He is
Bella's his princess. So
okay.
Yeah, and I did find the picture that we took with Paige O'Hara at D23. I looked that picture up and I finally found it.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I got to go with Beauty and the Beast also, although I will say Psycho Jet Black that Disney's Hunchback is criminally underrated. Great songs, great voice casting, but it just doesn't hold a candle to Beauty and the Beast. Elizabeth, to answer your question, that was Jeff that had the country music back there because it's background where he was on the Rivers of America at Disneyland. It's part of the ambiance music that's playing while they wait for the show to start. But it's generic music. It's not going to get copyrighted. So don't have to worry about that. Alistair Kiefer says Beauty and the Beast. And then Elizabeth says Beauty and the Beast, hands down. Only watched Hunchback once, was not a fan of the cartoon version. Yeah, it took me a while to watch it because I was such a fan of the Lon Chaney silent version. But I do have to say it's criminally underrated. All right, next topic. And this is going to be the transitional topic, if you will, before James starts to unleash his barrage. He kind of threw this one into the group chat last night. You know, out of all the celebrities we've been seeing lately, we've been seeing a ton of celebs, more so than ever, really making their presence known, not just in WWE, but in sports and entertainment in general. Is there a celebrity that you wanted to see compete that never did? That was the basic your question, right, James? I got that right?
Yeah, yep, you got that 100% correct.
I'm going to go first on this one, and then we'll let you end it as we start to transition to your topics.
Yes.
For me, I think the obvious answer is Mickey Rourke. They did all that hype and buildup around the wrestler.
And he did really good.
For whatever reason, he didn't have the match. And instead, we got Jericho versus Snuka, Piper, and Steamboat, which then turned into that classic rematch, Jericho Steamboat, the following Backlash.
Yeah,
right.
But I would have to say Mickey Rourke for me would be the obvious because they had that storyline going so good. And then just out of nowhere, they ditched it and did the classic superstars, if you will, versus Jericho 3-on-1.
And then he punched him.
Yeah.
He just punched him.
So you know, you still were at Mania, you still got involved, but you didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
And yet you want to go around and talk massive shit about people.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Mikey, what do you think?
I would have liked to see a lot more with Shaq, honestly. I would have I mean, you got him in the battle royal, and Shaq is a businessman, so he could have put millions of dollars up in there to really
Sell it, yeah.
run with that.
Oh, big
Yeah.
Back
time.
in the primetime players, millions.
Exactly,
of dollars.
millions of dollars with that
Millions of
one.
That gimmick.
Also, I just had one.
And just
too.
throw crime time with them too. Make it a Survivor Series match.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I mean,
money. Yeah.
because
Millions of dollars.
okay, I just got it. When in the Fast and the Furious saga, I would have loved to see Vin Diesel in a wrestling ring.
That would be interesting, actually. That
Especially
would be pretty
considering his real life feud with Rocky. Like that would be a cool way to play it out.
cool.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
That
And
would be a cool
oh,
way
then
to
of
play
course Conor McDavid. Who wouldn't want to pay to see him get his ass kicked for real?
Oh, Conor McGregor, yeah. Conor McGregor.
Did I say Conor McDavid?
it. Yeah,
Yes, you did.
you got hockey on the mind.
Yeah.
Conor
Conor McGregor would be a hell of a fucking person to sign, for sure. I could see him. He's probably the most likely out of all the people you mentioned, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think his
Jet
MMA
Black-
days are.
Psycho Jet Black says Tom Cruise in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Keen Mike X says Dwight Howard. He even did a WWE tryout.
I'm shocked nobody said John Wick.
He also said
Ah,
Soulja
yes,
Boy
Soldier Boy.
when
him
Randy
and
Orton called him out for
Oh,
saying
shit.
WWE was fake.
Oh my god, yes.
Mikey, here's a
Absolutely.
blast from our past.
What's that?
Matt Helms said Jim Carrey.
That would have worked perfectly with Lawler.
Yeah, when they were
Absolutely.
doing
Yeah.
the Man on the
Stuff.
Moon build and he was still portraying Andy Kaufman.
Yep, that could
For
have worked.
him to have showed up as Andy at a WWE show and gotten into it with Lawler.
Yep.
I have my love-hate relationship with Jim Carrey because he was inadvertently responsible for burying my boy D'Lo Brown. Okay, so I have my
Yeah.
issues with Jim.
I
Drew
love me some
Curry?
Jim.
Drew Curry.
Noah, what do you think? Any celebs that you could come up with?
You already kind of named a couple that were definitely on my mind. The first one I definitely thought of was Mickey Rourke because they never followed up anything from WrestleMania 25. John Wick, that was one that kind of I was thinking about, but in the WWE ecosystem, how would they use that, especially with his type of character? He's been like, being Keanu Reeves, for example, in freaking Cyberpunk 2077. As far as Shaq, yeah, that one match, and it was a tag match. Yeah, there could have been a whole lot more potential made from that. I know there's rumors and talks about Cardi B maybe getting involved in AEW against Jade Cargill, who's the bigger bitch. So that'd be an interesting program.
I mean, after the
besides
Trina
that-
thing last week,
Besides that, what happened to Stat Boy?
He died of cringe because Psycho Jet Black came up with.
no, I think
What
he
the
was
hell is this?
replying to Cardi B.
Oh, Cardi B. Oh, is it Cardi B? For me, it was
Yeah.
Justin Bieber. What the hell's Justin Bieber gonna do, Psycho? What is he gonna do? He's just gonna do the stupid TikTok dance over somebody's body?
I think the only
thing.
thing I'd want to see Cardi B versus Jade Cargill is who's really got the WAP. But I digress.
Draw money. That'll draw money.
What's
That
that
would
mean?
draw money. I'm just saying.
I think that's more of a Brazzers thing.
That would
probably.
have to go onto Jenny Neidhart's OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
Oh, the third party thing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and again, as somebody who really doesn't look into entertainment tonight or the entertainment industry outside the scope of pro wrestling, I didn't really have many other names on my mind. Like I said, you said the obvious ones. Conor McGregor, Vin Diesel with the whole Fast and the Furious campaign. I think at one point someone said, what about Schwarzenegger actually got involved in the ring in a wrestling match?
No,
He did.
not
And Triple H
really.
backslapped him.
I'm talking match. It can't just be they got involved. They had
I'd say they gotta be in a
wanted
match.
to see
That's
wrestle.
the thing. They actually
Full
gotta
on
be
in a match.
Full
Yeah.
on match. That's the
Okay.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So besides that, Chris Cyborg probably be an interesting one. I'd like to see her try and mix it up with Ronda Rousey. That'd be an interesting.
Mike Tyson.
Match.
Mike Tyson should have been a shoo-in. Mike Tyson absolutely should have been.
He's been involved in more than enough WWE spots. He should have been in an actual match.
That's what I'm saying. He should have been in a wrestling match.
I think the reason Tyson wasn't is because his fists are registered as lethal weapons.
Fair enough.
So was Steve Blackman's. What do you mean?
No,
Steve
not
Blackman
the
got
same.
screwed big time.
Yeah, I know that, but come on now.
I mean, he's not wrong, but you're talking about martial arts. I mean, maybe
they signed Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock. Like,
yeah, and look at how good Severn did.
Yeah, you could have fucking had him pull his punches back.
I mean, in his prime, I would have said the likes of freaking Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
There you go. That would have been freaking good. I mean, Chuck Norris did get involved that one SummerSlam, I think it was, with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
he did.
But, nothing ever really came from it. James, this was your topic. Who do you got that we haven't said yet?
Mine is RoboCop. No, I'm kidding.
That happened in WCW, damn it.
They didn't have a match. He didn't have a match, though. Could have happened.
That's because the minute he got body slammed, the costume would have fallen apart.
Actually, what the hell are you talking about?
It just
you better bring in Pamela Anderson at Bash to the Beach.
Actually, it just occurred to me, Mike Tyson did compete in wrestling, because if we're counting the multiverse of Jeff Meacham, he did wrestle on No DQ CAW. So I'm gonna count it. I'm gonna count it for that. So Mike Tyson did wrestle.
It's a different plane, but I guess technically it could be considered.
So I'll count it.
It wouldn't have been a physical confrontation, but I would have liked to have seen what would have happened if Fabulous and Jay-Z had actually showed for that battle against Cena.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. That would
like
be cool.
that had such good potential. And then for it to fall in flat to where he was rapping to freaking a Dr. Evil and Mini-Me cutout with their faces put on them.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if they actually had shown up? Like, Cena probably would have been murdered on the mic, which is probably a good thing they didn't show up. But
probably.
As a fan back then of both hip hop and definitely John Cena, like Dr. Thugonomics was my John Cena, damn it.
I don't know, man. A lot of people
that would have been so good.
I think I'm one of the few people that think Cena probably could have held his own with Slim Shady. I really do think that. I'm serious.
No.
I think people underestimate Cena's intelligence when it comes to barology. He's
trust
really
me,
good.
I do not underestimate Cena's intelligence when it comes to his words play or his bars or
anything. He'd still lose.
Eminem made a word up that rhymes with orange. All right.
Eminem would have made John Cena look like Vanilla Ice.
Damn. Hot take, but he's not wrong.
I love him, but yeah. And then going back to Sapphitt's comment, like, as long as Jason David Frank had the Dragon Dagger out there, I would have all been for it. There had to be a spot where he has Punk down and he breaks out the Dragon Dagger just for that pop.
It just happens at MetLife Stadium, and the freaking Dragon Zord just rips the roof off the arena.
Oh, Nathan Banks said Scott Conn from Ready to Rumble. I guess that would have worked in WCW when they had the Arquette thing going.
Okay.
You figure they had Arquette on TV to promote Ready to Rumble anyways. So if they had done a tag team match with the two of them, would it have really been that much more far-fetched than what we already got?
I guess not.
I got one for you.
And then Psycho Jet Black said Snoop and Sasha in an intergender tag team match.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny you mentioned WCW and Ready to Rumble, because mine definitely has a WCW crossover involvement. I don't think anybody thought of this. I have some trivia for everybody in here.
All right. Shoot.
Okay. Does anybody remember the show? What the fuck? Why am I blanking on the name of it? Hold on. Wrestling Bios made a video on it. I don't want to butcher the fucking name because I was about to say the name of the event called Roller Cage. They had an event on there called Roller Cage or whatever the hell.
Roller Cage.
Yeah,
Roller
hold on.
Cage?
Let me check. Yeah, Roller Cage. Hold on, let me check because it is on here.
I know
Yeah, here it
roller
is.
games and roller ball.
Battle Dome. Okay. Who
Oh,
remembers
Battle Dome.
Battle Dome? Okay. Now, I saw they did a crossover with WCW in like 2000, late 2000. So you know this thing went to shit right away, just from that combination, right? So the idea of this crossover was they were actually planning on doing a match. They were actually training the Battle Dome guys to compete in wrestling. Now you had your jabronis on this damn show that absolutely meant zero to absolute dog shit, but there was one shining star in that entire rough. So much of a shining star that honestly, when I heard him speak on the mic as if he was a wrestler, I really thought he should have been a wrestler.
Okay.
I'm talking T-Money, Terry fucking Crews should have absolutely been in pro wrestling. I'm shocked. If you have never seen his Battle Dome promo against the WCW Invaders, seriously go out of your way to look this up because I felt the hatred from him. He made me believe just for a split second that this was something they were going to take semi-seriously. And with WCW in 2000, that's a lot of praise.
Agreed. I could see Terry Crews doing stuff considering Tiny Zeus Lister.
Yeah. True.
I could definitely see Terry Crews, and going back to that comparison, you figure that Terry Crews basically took over for Debo in Friday After Next as the big bad against Craig and Day Day. So following the heels of Zeus having come in and being a pro wrestler, having the matches in WWF and then even in WCW, I could definitely have seen Terry Crews.
The thing with Terry is that he has the demeanor about him that every time he speaks, he's always pissed off. And it's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so wrestling, man. Could you have imagined him? That's the thing. It's like, if you actually got Terry Crews in this somehow and WCW, actually went through with this deal and he was on the roster by the end of it, could you have imagined a Rock versus Terry Crews matchup just on the microphone? Fuck. I'm not, and people are probably thinking this, you're talking crazy. No, I'm not. I'm telling you, this is one of these guys that probably wouldn't have gotten buried by Dwayne Johnson. He would have held his own. He's that good on the fucking stick. That's why I'm saying it's a shame, because there was a chance we could have had this happen, and then WCW just had their financial troubles, and
WCW did WCW things.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Stat Boy. Add your final thought to this before we transfer over to the next thing.
What happened with the No Limit Soldiers a long time ago? Did that ever pan out, or did that go away?
No, that died a slow, horrible, painful death.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it because at the time the gimmick was happening, I was totally a No Limit Soldier. I was all about Masterpiece, Silk the Shocker, Mystical, make him say, I was all about that. So when I saw them come into WCW, I was like, yeah, No Limit Soldiers. And then after 3 weeks, it was
fucked them up. Yeah.
Pretty much.
when the heel West Texas rednecks are getting over more as a baby face against them, you've messed up.
Yeah. Hey, they did the same thing with Public Enemy, and they did the same thing with ICP, though. So this really doesn't shock me that they didn't know how to use those guys either.
No, not at all.
Oh my God, it was a travesty how they used it, bro. And you know what sucks too? Because they tried to put them in a faction, dude. What was it? What was it? The Carnival or whatever they were called, where originally it was Raven that led it, and then it was Vampiro. That had potential, man. That actually had legit potential.
Vampiro, and I think it was Muda.
Yeah, Muda was in there. Muda, Vampiro, ICP. I'm like,
the Dark Carnival. I remember
that. And then they ruined it, man.
That's another missed opportunity amongst so many others.
Yeah. How many missed opportunities are there, Noah? The correct answer is yes.
Answer, daily double.
Answer, daily double. Ooh, baby, a triple.
Oh, good grief almighty.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my lighthearted, or one of my, that's a lighthearted topic.
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
fun.
That was definitely
yeah.
fun because I know we're about to go down the proverbial rabbit hole to hell.
What?
Because well, no, not the white rabbit. We're not doing any of that stuff again. But James mentioned to me, 3 very specific topics he wanted to cover,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they all kind of tie together.
Yes.
Hence the reason I say we're about to go down this rabbit hole, because topic 1 leads to topic 2, leads to topic 3,
Yeah.
and then we're in the depths of hell at this point. So,
Domino effect. Interesting.
so I will throw up the first graphic, James, and you can just kind of take it from here.
All right, cool. Let me see. So, there was an article. I saw this article.
Of course.
So, I saw this thing, and I'm just like, it says Ric Flair says he will never retire. Talk about some clickbait, right? Okay, what is this actually? How much? I originally thought, oh no, my fears have been realized. Ric Flair has gone against his word yet again, was immediately what I freaking thought. Then I go on to the actual article, and it turns out that this article from this source that I will not name because they don't deserve the fucking privilege. Okay, they don't. Basically was just covering the WrestleMania 24 match that he had with Shawn Michaels. And then the last paragraph mentions his recent retirement and how he's joking, like Jeff and everybody else covered, that how he was joking about coming out of retirement because of the Puerto Rico people. Whatever. Saying, hey, why can't you retire in Puerto Rico? Yada, yada. So it was basically bullshit. You would have thought after what happened at All Out, that would have been a fucking wake-up call to stop posting bullshit articles everywhere you can just to get a few clicks. You would have thought you learned by now. But I guess not. I guess we're going to just keep making the same mistake over and over and over again and keep pissing people off, making people throw their hands up in the air, and either do one of two things. Basically find a way to just deal with the toxicity and still enjoy the product, like Noah, or basically be like me and just throw your hands up in the air and say, fuck it! Fuck it! Why do we have to make these fucking stories up just to get clicks? It boggles it honestly has driven me like it's been in the back of my head and it's been a nail in my craw for the last 2.5 weeks. I don't understand how after what happened, we're still making the same fucking mistakes over and over and over and over again. Nobody's doing the due diligence. And say what you want to freaking say about what Punk said, but there was one thing that he absolutely was right on in his freaking rant. Be responsible with your freaking resources. Remember, we're all human beings.
And all that leads to the second image.
Jesus. So then we've been seeing these articles. This is a well-known thing about all these damn releases or quote-unquote releases that wrestlers are trying to get from AEW. 90% of that is also bullshit, and it's already been, again, made by Tony Khan himself. Yep, exactly. Thank you for the clicks. Absolutely clickbait. The fact, and this probably infuriates me more than anything else, because at this point now, we're talking about a man who legitimately went home to deal with mental problems. Anybody that's known me for any period of time on my channel knows I don't take this shit lightly. The fact that Malachi Black, the person behind the character, had to come out on social media and dispel these fucking rumors because Uncle Dave wanted to get his damn clicks in for his freaking website is fucking disgusting. I want that to be known. It is disgusting that he even had to come out and do that shit when he was trying to stay off social media and get his mind right before coming back to the company he is contracted to for a long period of time. The fact that this shit was even fucking reported after he literally said online, hey, I'm taking a sabbatical because I'm dealing with a mental crisis in my own fucking head right now, is laughable to me that we have even gotten to this point where everybody was speculating, including the Observer, including people, some friends of ours, not all, but some, speculating that they were trying to fucking leave. It's gross. It's absolutely disgusting, dude. Like, I can't begin to tell you, like, again, between the whole thing with Flair, that's one thing. But then to, like, lie about a lot of these other things, like, and Buddy Murphy apparently did the same thing, too. He had to come out and dispel those freaking rumors after what happened. Freaking Paige makes her freaking return. Everybody said she wasn't going to wrestle, and then she wrestles. So, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe that nobody has learned their freaking lesson after All Out. And it's not the first time, but this is like the most notable thing that has happened. And this is the type of like, nobody is taking any accountability for any of their fucking shortcomings when it comes to this shit. Which is why I said what I said like a couple weeks ago. Why do you think I needed to take a break from this shit for as long as I can before the freaking next pay-per-view? It's because of bullshit like this. And listen, God bless Noah for being able to do that, for being able to separate. God bless Jessie for all the abuse she gets and is able to still enjoy that damn product. I envy you too. I wish I could have that damn strength. Because it is unbelievable how stuff like that, and I'm not the only one that has just said, thrown their hands up in the air and said, fuck it, man. There has been so many people that I know personally that have seen this type of shit on social media that used to be wrestling fans who do not watch anymore. And they're not just a handful or a couple of handfuls. That should tell you something. And that should also be a message to the fucking wrestlers in the back. Get your shit together and be better than the fucking people that are spreading this fucking clickbait. Somebody, for the love of God, take accountability for your own shit. I beg. God damn it. That goes to Phil. That goes to the Young Bucks. That goes to Kenny. By God, Omega. That goes to every single one of you. Don't be like them. Be better than them.
100%. Stat Boy,
Jeez.
this is the other Mikey I was talking to in the chat room.
What's up,
Open
Mike?
mic night. Give a warm welcome to Report Card Radio, Mikey T, the movie star.
What up,
going on,
man?
Man, I remember
What's
you.
up?
There's no way I can forget about you after the first open mic night, man.
Thank you. Thank
What
you.
happened on that one, man? I don't remember.
You came in and told a story.
When I lost my weed.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Where you lost your weed. Yeah.
Oh God, that was horrible that night.
Yeah,
I
man.
actually found it, but
Yeah.
yeah, man. Can I? All right. So can I talk? All right. So can I talk about Malachi Black here?
Yes,
Go
please.
for it,
Go
bro.
for it.
So
Go for it, man.
Tony Khan, out of everybody, it seems like Tony Khan actually gave this guy what he wanted. Like
Yes.
he gave him the House of Black. So
Creative freedom.
yeah, from what you're saying, James, it's like, okay, he's gonna go get his mental correct and then come back to the company he's contracted for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could take that I could take that, but it's like I just kind of feel like, why is he like so mentally like gone when he's being given everything he wants?
Well, and again, that's a fair question. It's fine. I'm cool with us asking those questions because it could be something to do with maybe he does want to go back to WWE. My point is, it's one thing to speculate. It's one thing to wonder. These news and rumor sites are reporting this shit like as if it was fact.
Exactly, and that's the biggest flaw.
That's the problem that I have. Even if it is fact at the end of the day, why are we assuming this shit when the guy clearly stated he is going through a mental crisis? Don't fucking then pile on that crisis and freaking assume shit that does not need to be assumed. It is way too early to judge. That's my point with it.
Well, we are creatures of habit, and we love to believe everything that we read on any form of social media or any form of publications, where it feels like we have to know every possible thing that happens in every person's life, especially in the wrestling industry, when at the end of the day, you should consider this is another human being trying to live their life through their profession, whether or not it challenges them or something else challenges them. That is not of our own distinction to always have wherewithal for. It's almost like humanity needs to know everything happening possibly in the wrestling industry, including from the individual themselves. Should the individual not willingly want to share it, we go to these journalists with journalistic integrity to supposedly give us the truth and information because we're
most of them
begging
with
at the
no
bit to hear
journalism
it.
degree, by the way. None of them.
Yeah,
Well, I
see,
mean-
that's the counterpoint in all this is that at what point do we hold these reporters to the accountability? Should journalistic integrity be a thing? I mean, if journalistic integrity was such a high regard held thing, magazines like the National Enquirer, Star, sites like TMZ wouldn't have near the following and traction they have. And granted, TMZ has become a lot more reliable over the last few years, but it started out as just a tabloid trash website, throwing out clickbait to try to get traffic. And then once they started to get the traffic, they started to become a little bit more reliable.
Right.
The Enquirer, the Star, all those magazines made money hand over fist for years.
Right.
Because so-and-so would be spotted in Hollywood with so-and-so, and is so-and-so cheating on their husband/wife? Is this a new power couple? Blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't get as bent out of shape as some of this stuff as it seems like you do, James, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
You mentioned how Noah can kind of power through all this. I've seen this stuff for 46 years,
Right.
So,
well, I mean, does that make it okay, though?
Does it make it okay? No, but I've taught myself not to get emotionally roped into it because it's something I've grown up with. My mom would read those magazines every week. She'd make sure she'd buy the latest one at the grocery store checkout. They're impulse buys. They're right there by the register for a reason. Stat Boy too.
Mine too. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely feel that the only way these reporters will change is if we as a community start calling them on their bullshit.
Which you never will.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we're doing
most
it
of
right
us
now,
never will. Most of us never will because we're still entertained by it.
Or you're afraid of getting backlash because you might just be opening up a can of worms or starting a wildfire.
Well, I don't give a shit about that.
Whether it's the Wrestling Informer, whether it's the Wrestling Informer, Wrestling Observer, Report Card Radio, No DQ, all of those websites, even Open Mic Night. I find some of my topics come from some of these clickbaity things because
like that Sasha Banks topic.
Yeah, true.
That's some good shit though, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a good discussion point.
Right.
But, it's like,
There's discussing and then there's assuming. That's where James Hebert is trying to blur the lines. Do you believe what you read is actual facts?
Or most people do. I'm not one of them all the time.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the way you have perceived the reception of these things and how it has affected you emotionally.
Well, it's more than that. and then I'll let Mikey speak in a minute. But just to be clear, this is kind of like my thought process of it. You mentioned Hollywood. Hell, we'll even throw NFL in there because there's some gossip that always happens.
But I was saying there's gossip
Professional
everywhere.
sports.
Right.
There's gossip everywhere. That's really what this comes down to. Anything you read is gossip.
Right. But here's my argument with that. You have multiple outlets that are easily accessible in Hollywood. Various constant media of entertainment in Hollywood. In the NFL, there's 32 teams, right? And while there's only one entity really that's big in the NFL, there's still 32 teams and there's enough diversity to still invest in the game. Same thing with MLB, same thing with the NHL, same thing with a lot of sports. Pro wrestling has two major companies in America right now. If you want to count the world, there's three in New Japan. Everything else in comparison is the freaking minor league. That's my issue. That's why I take umbrage with this because, again, it goes back to the point I made initially. You're driving more people away with this gossip than people that are trying to come in and try to immerse themselves in the reality they're supposed to be watching on screen. And then all of a sudden, the shit hits the fan, the all-out press conference, or somebody's trying to leave supposedly, or somebody's trying to do this, or somebody's trying to do that. And there's like news that completely contradicts what the hell is going on screen. And with so much going on in the world right now, that is just goddamn toxic. Who the hell wants to deal with that?
Yeah.
You know?
Agree. I mean, we've talked about on this show, on Dad's, on multiple shows that I can think of, how the internet is the worst thing to ever happen to professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, because while it can be used to spread the
positivity
word and engage with other fans, it's more used for the dark side, if you will.
Yeah.
Spoilers and rumors and
I wants that.
all kinds of that stuff. It's like I constantly flash back to 99, 2000 specifically. That one year and maybe 2 weeks time from January 99 when Foley won his first title on Raw,
right,
to the Raw the following year where the Radicals debuted.
Yeah.
And how different that entire calendar year. You figure Jericho's debut was thrown in the midst of that too.
Yep.
The China Intercontinental title and Jeff Jarrett holdup was in that calendar year. How different that entire year would have been if the internet was the way it is today.
Oh my God, it would not be great.
Jarrett's leaving.
The Radicals thing, legit, my jaw was on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like,
because just 2 weeks prior,
Yeah.
I think it was, Benoit was the WCW champion.
Yeah.
It was like, why didn't he take that title? They finally gave you the World Heavyweight Championship from Sid.
Because it was too little, too late.
Right?
It was too late, man. It was too late.
What do you mean it was too late, Noah. It was his time, damn it.
No,
I'm
you
not
look at
arguing
how they
that.
you look at how they had done all four of those in the year prior to that,
yeah,
and
they
it was
did 'em
just
dirty.
too little, too late.
Everything.
If he had gotten the belt at Mayhem '99 instead, it might have been a completely different ball game.
When
It's
you
funny
think
you
about
mentioned-
that, when you think about that situation compared to Bret Hart's, I thought about that before, you guys. Like, they didn't want Bret to leave with that title so bad. They're like, Bret, you can't leave with the title. Bret, don't think about leaving. Benoit gets the title. They're like, Benoit, peace out, man. Benoit, give us the title. Have a good day. We'll figure out what to do with it. But with Bret, the title was just so prestigious, I guess, JJ. Whoa, Noah, what was it back then? Was the title just so prestigious? With Chris Benoit, they're like, give us the damn title.
I feel
Animal
like it was
is
just
gonna
because
be in a
Vince
match
McMahon
for it
didn't
next
want to
month.
see his legacy go over to the other company. I feel he did hold it to that high of a degree.
He had seen what Alundra Blaze did when she took the women's title.
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
right. That's a fair point. She did throw it away before that, so he probably was fearing that Bret would do something much worse.
But what
Let's
Vince
not get
always
the rest of the
forgets,
WWE title.
what Vince always forgets though, is the fact that he had Bobby Heenan come out on television with the WCW title, the big gold belt, proclaiming Flair as the real world's champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Which
like,
we all know was false at
payback's
the
a
time.
motherfucker, wasn't it, Vince?
Yeah, exactly. But it's
But-
funny you mentioned. It's funny you mentioned the Benoit situation, Mikey, because it just kind of. It's funny that you bring that point up because I have to cycle back to the Elite Punk BS real quick because I have a message here.
Man.
I have
Punk actually admitted they didn't bust down the door.
Yeah.
I guess he might have punched them first. Why the hell is he punching the Young Bucks in the first place when he's the one welcoming them to the
right.
like, come to my room if you want to talk about angles.
Well, no, he did say, in fairness to Punk, he did say in the hall, not in his locker room. That, in fairness.
Oh, he said in the hall?
Yeah, he did say in the hall. But none of that matters because what I'm about to say, it cycles back to the Benoit and WCW thing. I find it hilarious that a man in Chris Benoit who legitimately took a man's wife from the head booker of WCW, right?
Kevin Sullivan, right?
Still did business with him, so much so to the point he gave him the world title.
Yep.
And you're telling me that you fuckers, you children, including Punk, you guys can't get over your bullshit? I mean, holy Christ. You guys would have been astonished at some of the stuff that the guys were able to work out back in the day before social media. Holy mother of God.
Hold on, what is going on with is there a woman involved in this situation?
Yeah, but no, there is no woman. So my point being is that Kevin Sullivan's wife,
right.
freaking Nancy Sullivan then turned into Benoit because
right.
Chris stole her from him because of whatever.
And they kept on doing business,
but they still kept on doing business. That's my point.
Even though sometimes
like
they would get a little crazy.
Matt Edge and Lita.
Yeah.
Why did it get personal? That's the thing. He did let it feel personal.
Go ahead.
I don't think it was Kevin Sullivan who put the title on Benoit, though.
But even then, like, he was still booking him when, like, he was part of the Four Horsemen twice.
Right.
He was still putting him in prominent roles. He still had him win, like,
US
a bunch
champion,
of titles.
Tag champion.
He was
Best of 7
prominently
series with
featured
Booker.
every week. Almost every week. So, I mean, like, come on. Like, it's how have we gotten so far that what should have, honest to God, been a civil discourse has gotten this out of hand. It really shouldn't have.
Stat Boy, what are your thoughts?
As far as journalistic integrity, absolutely. Okay. I mean, if you're going to put something out there, make sure you've double, triple, quadruple checked it over and over and over again before you hit that button and you publish this. Okay. Because there have been plenty of times where I've done this. I've seen a story. It could be anything. Oh, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And it just grows and grows and grows like a fire. Well, it's going to, at some point, that fire is going to become too big to put out. And before you know it, you're destroyed. So, so absolutely, I could do it myself. I could say, hey, guess what? I'm going back to California and I've got to do my job back at Disney. What? And then I'm typing that up and I'm like, wait a minute, even I know that's bullshit. That's not going to happen. So I'm not going to do that. But
what you do is you fly out to California.
Yeah.
You take a picture at John Wayne Airport coming in.
Right.
You go to the gates of Disneyland and you post a picture at the gates.
Yeah, right.
Making everything look like this is all legit.
You fabricate it.
Hold on, Stat Boy, would you move back to California if you could get a job at Disney?
Hell no. I'm staying put in Tennessee.
You seem good in Tennessee, man.
It's pretty good in Tennessee, from what I
want
hear.
to go to that wrestling convention that Conrad does there next year, James. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's
That does seem pretty cool. By the
Yeah,
way,
I agree.
you came on here. You get the stuff you want to get off your chest, man. I'm sorry, everybody's been talking over you. I feel bad.
Well, you guys were talking about Sasha Banks earlier, or Mercedes. It seems to me like from when I looked, I'm not sure who posted it in the No DQ chat, but
Yeah.
it seems to me like she has just added Sasha Banks to one of her monikers, where she's like, okay, I've been this girl in the Netflix series. I've been this girl in this movie. I'm this girl in WWE. You know how people will do that on their Instagram? They'll put everything that they're known for, but it really all matters about their own name. I think she's really taking that into consideration now. Like,
Oh, okay.
she's
Oh,
the big property.
I see. Okay, so that maybe it got lost in translation. That might be what she's doing. I get what you're saying.
But what's funny that Mikey T brings that up, and James, you talk about journalistic integrity. There you go again. The clarity of said piece that you might have got such thoughts from that conceive the notion. So there you go. You're circling it all back. Double, triple, quadruple check your source.
It's almost like these journalists should do this one thing called communication and civil discourse. Gee, what a concept!
I mean, to be fair, communication is key, but that term falls on deaf ears.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, to be fair to me, in the past, I've tried to communicate topics with everyone ahead of time, but Noah's made it perfectly clear. He likes going in cold on this stuff. He is on social media all of like 5 minutes a day, you know. Good morning, everybody.
Good night.
Here's a song quote for the day. I just had me a bagel. Good night, all.
Fuck yeah, man.
Like
the bagel got me.
That's literally like Noah's
I didn't
day
get
on
the
social
bagel
media.
Yeah, man. Bro, why don't you ever send me a bagel message? What the fuck?
He posted his like a status, and I commented on it.
Oh, what? On Facebook?
Yeah, we all got. I'm gonna be like, guys, I got an iced coffee this morning. What's up?
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, I don't do that every day. For me, that's once in the blue moon. I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and share this and see what happens.
Yeah,
why not share something that's more, constructive for conversation versus so isolated that could become toxic or misinterpreted? Once in a while, you just need to do that. You just need to brighten up somebody's day.
Which goes back to James's point about how some of us get sucked into this, and some of us, like Noah, can just, good morning.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
I'm gonna do the rest of my day. Life is out there. Let me go for a walk and breathe in the air.
Or there's the other extreme. Jessie, she still can enjoy this despite how much abuse this woman has taken online, man. It blows my mind how she could just be like, Bryan Danielson's theme hits, and she's dancing like nobody's business.
Dude, if you go back to the very early episodes on YouTube of the Casa channel, you will see so much hate and anger and slander towards me that it is not even funny, because so much of the wrestling world swore to God that I stole Jeff Meacham from No DQ for my own personal gain.
That's not what happened.
I know it's not. And no matter what we said, nobody wanted to believe it. And when
because they were believing their own thoughts.
Exactly. And when we spoke the truth, people believed it even less. But seriously, dude, go back and look at some of the old Renegade and dads. Like, there's so much shit talking. Even Stat Boy shows where Jeff and Dylan's mom were on it together. It is so bad, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I got to that day, you know what's truthful, and that's all that matters.
I got to that point probably like 20 years ago where I stopped caring what people said about me.
Right.
If it wasn't somebody whose opinion I truly valued and loved, like my brothers, like my family, I could give a fuck all.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's
if Mikey T right here decides he wants to open his mouth and say that, come running his mouth at me and talking shit, I'll be like, all right, dude, whatever.
Right, but JJ,
that's your opinion.
Finally come back, man, because you took a long ass hiatus.
I did.
Yeah, true.
I did, and I still haven't come back to Renegade of wrestling. You notice I molded and adapted to what I was into now.
I was thinking
Movie.
Warzone was going to be that, but I watched a couple
Weekly,
episodes
yeah.
this week, but it's not. It's like because I seen some of the DVDs you got. I didn't see the Blu-rays you got. How much did them shits cost? They can't be $1.25, man.
Yep.
A
Dollar
Yeah,
Tree.
$1.50, right?
No, $1.25.
For the Blu-ray too?
Yeah, Dollar Tree, dude. Everything at Dollar Tree is $1.25.
How was
Yeah,
the
man.
Blu-ray the same price as the DVD?
Because Dollar Tree believes in the philosophy of keeping everything at the same price despite the economy inflating the price to $0.25.
Can't wait. It
Same-
will be $1.50.
same thing.
You watch though.
Same thing when I go to Goodwill. Goodwill sells their movies at all kinds of assorted prices throughout the week. But on Thursdays, anything that is that specific color tag, $2. This couch that I am sitting on, no joke, I paid $2 for at Goodwill.
Oh, at Goodwill. I didn't know
Wow.
what you were talking about.
Damn.
But
That's a hell of a
DVD,
bargain.
Blu-rays, anything, $2 on Thursdays. So that's why whenever you see me showing off Goodwill movies, those are things I bought on Thursdays when they were $2.
Hold on. How much are the movies at Goodwill? 50 cents?
No, hell no. If it were 50 cents, I'd pay 50 cents.
So how much are
They're
they at
generally
Goodwill?
priced between about $4.99 for a DVD used up to like $7.99 for a Blu-ray.
Yeah,
But
we
I
get a
wait
little
for
sidetracked.
Thursday, $2.
There you go.
it
But
all depends.
yeah, like there's so much hatred on the internet. It's hilarious. And bringing it back to the original point here, the journalistic integrity is something that needs to be demanded by us as a community.
Yeah,
Which never will be.
That's the only way they're going to change. And since we never will, just like we can't get everybody to agree on what president we want,
mhm.
just like we can't get everyone to agree on gas or electric vehicles, you know, it's just going to always be the way it is. It's written that way.
It is society standard, and it's up to
You know?
you how you let it affect you.
Exactly. Keen Mike X brings up a good point about losing any of those guys would be a huge hit to AEW.
Yes, it would.
I would not deny
Especially if
that.
any of them went to WWE. Now, I doubt Punk would ever go back to WWE. But Kenny or the Bucks, absolutely. The only place I could see Punk going these days would be to Impact.
No.
And he still has bad blood with Impact from the way it was when it was NWA TNA. And he was part of the gathering with Raven, which everybody forgets.
Wow.
Raven,
about
Julio
never
De
even
Niro,
knew.
CM Punk, and Alexis Luray, a.k.a. Mickey James.
Yep, that's true. It's
Accurate.
And
It's
that was
really-
all going on in NWA TNA the same time he was having a feud in Ring of Honor with Raven and having dog collar matches.
Yeah, I heard about those.
the thing that I find like absurd is that you have these guys that are there and they have these issues with each other. I don't give a damn who punched who first. I don't really care. The bottom line is everybody was a child in this situation, and that includes the Hangman. The fact that he's getting a fucking title shot is beyond me.
He's gonna lose, so
I
it doesn't
really-
matter.
Yeah, but
Hangman
I
was
mean-
there?
Yeah, Hangman's the one who started it all. Freaking, do you remember the Double or Nothing build where he cut?
Right.
He was like cutting what we thought initially at the time was a work shoot promo. It turns
When
out
he
it's all
said, I'm
shoot.
saving AEW from you.
Yeah,
Ding
that's
dong.
what.
And
Yeah.
then Tony Khan missed his biggest opportunity to make Hangman Page work and
Yeah.
actually beat CM Punk. If he would have just made Hangman Page beat CM Punk, he would have legitimized his company. But instead, now CM Punk can gloat that he beat Hangman and he beat Mox. He beat them both.
My issue with that is it should have been Punk winning because the goal should have always been he drops it to MJF because that would have been a much bigger opportunity, I think, for AEW.
Yeah,
But-
that's going to be
Especially
that,
look at the numbers right now. I mean, that the guy's pulling in MJF.
Yeah.
It's
That would have
ridiculous.
been-
Numbers. They're
that-
doing Sunday Night Heat numbers.
It's better, bro. It may be Sunday Night Heat numbers, but for an upstart company, for how long have they been around now? Like
3 years.
3 years.
The
next
fact that
week,
they-
Wednesday.
next week Wednesday. It's been
Dynamite
3
anyway.
years, and he's been pulling. He's the homegrown AEW guy that's been over the million mark consistently. That's a lot. Like that's a lot. That's why they didn't want it to be Hangman, because Hangman wouldn't have been that guy.
But
No.
James, he's just Tony is just continuing with what would have happened anyways. After CM Punk beat John Moxley, he was gonna then say, so now I want to handle this guy Hangman Page. How about you come out here and check me now, bitch? And then you know what I mean? They would have did that whole thing. And then him and Hangman would have had a match before the whole MJF thing that you spoke on.
Yeah,
well, the thing about that, Mikey T, why I also go back to continuity and what you're saying and building to the ultimate MJF crowning. MJF and Heyman Page were involved at WWE 2019 when the title was first presented. So there's that continuity right there. And MJF has yet to face Heyman Page one-on-one.
It's crazy.
Too.
It's crazy that whole conversation. Think about that for a second. If these fucking people can just get over their bullshit, do you realize how much money this could fucking generate AEW right now? It's the possibilities are endless right now. Dude,
I know.
We got work storylines that they build in. We got shoot elements now. If you could get these guys to be past their BS and you could have a fatal four-way matchup. Well, you don't have a fatal four-way matchup that could be this organic in your lifetime. It's a 1 in a million shot. Could you imagine MJF, Hangman Page, CM Punk, and Kenny Omega in the same ring for that world title? That would be ridiculous.
Well, why do you got to put Hangman there? He doesn't really deserve to be there anymore.
I put Hangman there because he's the one who started this whole thing.
He's mid-card Page to me.
Fair enough.
Maybe so. Maybe
but
so. But because in this storyline he has an integral part in it, that doesn't mean he can't be the first one eliminated.
Yeah,
the elimination match.
You know,
there's a new way.
They always talk about the pillars of the company. You know, well, here's 4 corners.
Right. You have your 2 longest term storylines that they did for kayfabe, right? And Hangman and Kenny and Punk and MJF, right? Now you have your shoot elements between Punk and Omega and Hangman, right? And then you have your storyline that they build from the first pay-per-view between MJF and Hangman. All at that point that you need to do, if you can get everybody to get on the same page, is build up Kenny and Punk's issues with each other on television. And then even then, I almost forgot Omega and MJF as well. You got to have that match before you have the 4-way. That's all you need left. That's the only piece missing.
To steal a pay-per-view title from another company, this literally is a turning point for AEW.
Right.
And they just can't capitalize on it. That's
because nobody's
that's
willing
the
to
stuff
work with
that
each other
keeps bringing them down.
Right.
Every time they
punishment,
get
JJ, I like it.
Every time they get to one of those turning points, something comes along and brings them down. It's 5 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yep.
With AEW every fucking time.
And
you know, if that media scrum had gone the way it was supposed to, and even if Punk went into business for himself, and then when he was approached in the locker room, they could have worked their shit out
right there and then.
We could literally be talking about 1.5 numbers instead of 1.0 numbers.
And and therein lies the problem. This is why I brought the question up. Yes, is MJF doing great with the circumstance given to him? Oh my God, yeah. Nobody else could.
MJF is totally turning chicken shit into chicken salad in this situation.
But imagine what could have been, dude.
I know.
Jesus Christ. I feel bad for Max the most because he was just looking out for himself because he knew how much of a draw he could potentially be. And ultimately gets ruined by Phil's BS and the Young Bucks BS and Kenny's BS and Hangman's BS and that whole ridiculous menage a trois going on over there, argumentative wise. and they can't just patch that shit up and just be done with it and make money with it.
Nope.
It's unbelievable. Like, dude, that's why I bring up the Nancy Benoit and Sullivan thing, because it's like these guys had every reason not to work with each other on a professional level anymore, but they
still did.
And they still did.
Or like I put it in a more modern sense for our more recent fans that are watching, Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita.
Yes! Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. And here's another thing that has now been uttered by Matt. And this was, I think, a couple weeks ago, he mentioned this on the podcast. Vince McMahon literally sat those two down. He said, "That's cute. You did that bullshit on my dime and caused a lot of grief from me, Matt. Edge, same with you for even banging his wife. What we're going to do now is we're going to operate this into a work shoot storyline, and we're going to do this on my dime. If you guys even think of going into business for yourselves, I will make sure you are all blackballed from this industry and never wrestle again. Understand?" Matt and Edge just said, "Yes, boss." That's the type of leader Tony needs to be right now.
Well, Tony did say at one point that he's not going to take any more BS following that scrum. So we'll he backs up his words.
Well, it's time. Well, stop taking BS. Take all the BS from WWE and stop taking the BS from your fucking people in your actual roster. How about that one, Tony? I mean, come on.
You want to direct message him that? See if he responds to you?
Trust me, I already have.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He'll come out on TV looking like this and cut a promo on James.
You don't know me. I have the money. You have nothing but a microphone, a virtual microphone. You have no power over me. I know how to run a company. You need to be quiet and just continue watching the product.
Mikey T. Let Mike D.
I'm sorry. I got an unrelated wrestling question, non-wrestling question that I've been.
Go for it.
I've been having. I need all y'all to answer this because I'm getting ready for Halloween Ends, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I went in and I watched the last two Rob Zombie, or the only two Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Oh boy.
And I watched the next, or what's it called? The first Halloween and then Halloween Kills. What was the first one called?
Just Halloween 2018.
18.
Or some people call it Halloween 40 because it takes place 40 years after the original.
So what I like about Rob Zombies, though, is that in Rob Zombies first, they really go back and show you the early Michael Myers. That's what's different about that one. So I want to ask you all, if you've seen them, which of those two series are better in your opinion? The Rob Zombie one or the very newest one that Jamie Lee Curtis has made? I'm going to have to say that I think Jamie Lee Curtis's series is actually better than Rob Zombie's. I mean, there was like a kill scene in Rob Zombies where this girl, I thought she was about to meet her fate, but then Michael Myers just drags her out of the room. I'm like,
yeah,
like what the hell's going on here? But all right, James, if you want to go first, I want.
I'll give you my honest answer. Jamie Lee Curtis has brought life back into the Halloween series that has been drastically missing for
a very long
God
time.
knows how long, man. Like it has been sorely needed because it's. With Zombies, his isn't bad, but the issue with it is it's very campy in one way, and it's also him just trying to throw whatever the hell he can throw at the wall and make it stick. Like he wets the toilet paper and just chucks it at a wall. It's like, that'll work. It's Jamie Lee Curtis's interpretation currently for me.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get an answer from Noah because he doesn't really watch movies.
Right now, he's becoming Michael Myers with all this.
You're right. He's in the darkness.
Reading a book again.
Noah's gone like Star Trek into the darkness.
Scat Boy, have you seen all of those?
I know I've seen the original. I think I went as far as Halloween H2O. I don't think I might have seen the first Rob Zombie Halloween. And I was okay with it, but I got to agree that Jamie Lee has made the franchise come full circle from all the way back to 1978.
Yeah.
So I know I need to sit down this month. It is October. It is Halloween. It's crazy. And Dory Lou just walked into my room.
It's Halloween, really?
Yeah, it's Halloween.
Oh.
Do you want to have you seen the Rob Zombie Halloweens? Do you like them better than what Jamie Lee is doing with them?
I have not seen the Rob Zombie Halloweens, and as you
Keep it that way.
Here,
Yeah.
You have no voice. You've been screaming all night.
This
That's Dory Lou, by the way, for those who don't know.
Must be
Yes, you
part of
can
the job.
catch her every Tuesday on Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, my voice is not up to par at the moment. I've been scaring teenagers,
Someone
Nice.
has
making them
to.
run in high heels and losing shoes up a ramp. It's been fun.
Are you scaring them with responsibilities?
No.
Uh,
Well,
That's what they're missing.
Because my character is telling them they have to go do something in my lab to make everybody else safe.
I see.
Then they're never seen again.
Yo,
Maniacal laugh.
meanwhile, Noah is just like thinking in his head, damn it, 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 damn it.
See, but I'm back to I'm being a scare actor and I'm loving it.
Yes.
I'm just
Nice.
getting back to it, and I actually get to do it for the whole month of October this year.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm having a blast.
That's what's up.
Good deal. That's what's most important. As long as you're having
There you
fun.
go.
By the way, James, I'm not thinking that. I'm actually thinking of the song "Zombie" by the Cranberries.
There you go.
That's a good one too. That is a
Thank
good
you.
one too.
So briefly, before we get back to Mikey T's topic, if you're in the Tennessee area, stop by Dollywood, find Dory Lou as one of the scare actors.
Actually, I'm not a scare actor at Dollywood because they don't
Oh.
do that at Dollywood. We have a
Oh,
very
okay, where are you?
family-friendly Halloween. As a scare actor, you'll find me in the town of Powell, Tennessee, at Fright Works.
There you go.
I see.
There we go.
There you go.
Asta.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Cheap plug.
But yeah, Mikey T, it's the new Jamie Lee Curtis ones, dude. The Rob Zombie ones were freaking hot garbage.
Yeah.
Hot
I-
garbage? Really?
Hot
Why do you
garbage.
think that, Jay?
Dude,
I don't think they're
tell-
terrible, but
Hold on, James. I think you'll appreciate this analogy. I tell people all the time, I would rather sit through Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes trying to do that fucking Taibo jujitsu shit on loop over and over again with my eyelids open with toothpicks than sit through Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 ever again.
So let me ask you, man.
And to be fair, I still have to watch it this year because I'm reviewing it as we build up towards Halloween. Halloween Ends will be reviewed on my channel on Halloween night.
Go ahead, Mikey.
It'll be great. Was Halloween H2O cringe or was it actually pretty good? Because
I liked H2O.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Resurrection was cringe.
Resurrection sucked. It was
Yeah.
so crazy.
yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis got paid $4 million for H2O, and with the promise that there would be no more. But they were like, Jamie, we're making Resurrection. She was like, I want $3 million. She did the opening scene for $3 million compared to doing the whole H2O for $4 million. But now, I guess, with the new Halloween movie, she's pretty much just putting her money with the other producers, and they're making a ton of money, man. Like, the first one was good. The second one threw me off because of the fact that it's a continuation film and not a lot was going on, JJ. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. I won't lie.
Well, if you think about the original H2 from 81, not a lot happened in that one either. A lot of it took place in the hospital.
Yep.
A lot of it Jamie Lee wasn't involved in. This
Really?
was kind of par for the course.
Yeah. I feel like Halloween as a series should be a full on, like, it's a fright horror show. That's exactly what it should be. And I don't know. I felt like with even in H2O, even though I liked it, I feel like it kind of started losing its way a little bit.
Yeah. The only scary movie franchise sequel that I will say 100% I like worse than Resurrection or even the Rob Zombie ones is Seed of Chucky.
Hold on, that's the one you hate, you're saying?
Yeah, that one is even worse. And I am a huge Chucky fanatic.
Yeah.
I
Seed of
will
Chucky-
give a lot of leniency to the Chucky franchise, but Seed of Chucky is god awful.
That's
How
like
many-
worse
when
than
you've got
many-
three.
when you've got to get
interesting.
Redman over Method Man, one. And the best line in the movie is Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany making a joke to Jennifer Tilly as herself about how she used to get respected. That just says everything about the movie right there. But Noah
Wait,
over here listening to.
I have
to
a
the
perfect way to
fanboys.
segue this back to wrestling.
We
What's
need to
worse?
bring it back.
What's worse, Seed of Chucky or the Rick Steiner promo?
Nothing's worse than Seed
Seed
of
of
Chucky,
Chucky.
James.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I wonder how
did
many
you
of these
see
are on
Braun-
Ali's 31 Days of Halloween movies to watch.
Did you see Braun on NXT, not your NXT this week, doing Steiner math and making that joke?
Yes,
That
I
was
did.
hilarious.
It's like, I have an idea. You're gonna have 33%, and you're gonna have 33.5%, and I'm gonna have 33.5% because it's gonna be a triple threat match.
I love it. I'm glad we got that call back. Although I wish he did it in the Scott Steiner way, man. Nothing will beat the original. Not even the sequel.
No.
Nothing will beat that, man. Come on.
And as a mathematician, it still raises my anxiety, but it runs in the damn family.
It does.
Makes my stat boy brain go haywire.
So that is all the topics that we had on hand today.
Better pause this.
Let's go ahead and let's start running through the plugs. Mikey T, is there anything you'd like to plug tonight?
Well, I got a channel. It's called Report Card Radio. Appreciate you giving me a little drop earlier, JJ. If anybody wants to tap in, just type in Report Card Radio. I have a bunch of interviews on there. Most recently, I interviewed G-Unit rapper, former G-Unit rapper named Kid Kid. So check out, and I go live all the time. So check me out on there.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you got a subscriber from me the minute you said that. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Especially the guy that does his own Don DeMarco series for raps. Also,
yeah,
again,
bro,
Mikey,
I'm full into that.
You also interview wrestlers too. You also recently interviewed Kira Kelly, so I'm sure
I did not get to really interview Killer Kelly. I got to meet Killer Kelly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
I got to meet her. First thing I said to Killer Kelly, I was like, "Hey, what's up?" So I was like, so I introduced myself. She was at this this horror fest that I just went to. We actually met the girl from Hereditary there, the girl who got her head cut off. We also met Keith David as well.
Nice.
Ooh, good call.
So I told Noah, I was like, yo, I'm going to meet Killer Kelly. And he was like, Noah told me he already got an autograph from her. And I was like, all right. And I was like, yo, my friend Noah told me all about you, from how you went from NXT UK. You got your shit going on with TNA. I'm like, why are you not signing with AEW?
Yeah.
And you want to know what she said?
I'm curious. Go ahead.
She was like, I'm happy with TNA. She's like, I'm killing it. I'm killing it at TNA. No,
because TNA knows how to book women's wrestling. They're the standard of women's professional wrestling booking in the industry for the last damn over a decade.
Yes,
why is she happy at TNA, Noah? Have they given her the title before? Are they going to give her the title? And why does she wear that sexy mouth guard?
Yeah.
Well, first off, the mouth guard, that's a whole different conversation. Secondly, we're not getting into that unless you want to talk about ring comp. But James, shut up.
Just Perk Angle on full display after you talk about mouth guards.
Oh, for the love of God.
Damn it.
And there we go. Let me go ahead and say it. Damn it, James, you freaking idiot. But
anyway, there's the plug.
To answer your question, Mikey, the thing about TNA, and that could be a conversation for another day when it comes to the booking of a women's division. Who does it the best? Where can face be improved? Stay tuned for future discussions over Might Night. When it comes to Impact Wrestling, there is variety in their booking. It's not necessarily about going after the title, putting the title on you. It's about you being showcased to a degree, having a story, having a damn personality on screen or backstage. They recently more freaking former Knockouts champion Jessica having a Jessica, and she's now this party girl with Taya Valkyrie. The thing about the Knockouts division, they're always reinventing themselves and pushing boundaries in not only what they could do in the ring, but who they could do something with. And Killer Kelly is no exception.
And not to mention the fact, too, they actually have also a tag division, and they're the only one that's actually, at least in America, that has actually tried that concept. And right now, definitely have perfected it, at least on this soil, because they actually have a legitimate tag division.
With Chelsea Green and Diana Peraza as the champions, now defending them at Bound for Glory against Taya Valkyrie and Jessica.
What a team, by the way. What a goddamn team.
You know, I'd seen she actually just traveled to Germany as well.
WXW.
So I'm not done, though, JJ. You know I had to ask her something else.
What's that?
Her name's Killer Kelly. So what do you think I had to ask her about?
Being a killer? What's her favorite horror movie?
No. I had to ask her, what's up? I said, I know you're probably going to go back to WWE at a certain point. My boy Noah told me you were at NXT UK. But is there going to be an issue with the fact that was there ever an issue with Killer Cross? Like the fact that his name was Killer Cross.
Oh, shit.
And she was like, no, I've been Killer Kelly before he was Killer Cross.
Yeah, right.
That's accurate, Noah. And why the hell was she in NXT UK? Is she from there or something?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's close to where she is from because, again, she was involved in Ringkampf, which is, of course, based out of the Austria, German area, first ever WXW Women's Champion. But also, she's born from Portugal. And she was involved in the Mae Young Classic, so obviously they had interest in her from her performance there and put her part of the NXT UK banner. In the beginning, unfortunately, things just fell flat, whether or not it was company booking or something on her side of things, especially when she had to step away from the industry, not just because of an injury. That's more so up to her and if she chooses to share it.
Yeah, there's also this as well, for those who don't know what Ringkampf is. Ringkampf is just basically Imperium, but minus Killer Kelly. Replace Kelly with Fabian Eichner.
Basically.
I just wish Killer Kelly would go back to WWE just so she could be a part of the Imperium, because I think that'd be cool.
Well, they probably would screw up her theme, though, and give her a stupid-ass name.
She was in Ringkampf. This was prior to Imperium being a thing, but everybody that's in Imperium minus Fabian Eichner was a part of Imperium.
Exactly.
That girl is legendary, man.
Damn right she is.
You're damn right. About time she got a damn title for a reference.
Well, again, it's not about thrusting the title on the individual. It's organically building to the title.
True.
And right now, she's just having fun. Let the fun continue and see where it goes.
Exactly. Well, Mikey, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure having you. You're welcome any other time. You
Absolutely, man.
If you're in the chat room and you see something you want to talk about, you connected with me on Facebook now. Hit me up and I'll shoot you the link.
All right, definitely, man. JJ. Yo, guys, I appreciate you, Stat Boy, man. That's my dude from way back. Noah Foster, man. I'll talk to you later. James, appreciate you, dude. JJ, you
appreciate it, man.
And Jeff, do your thing, bro.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Mikey.
Take care, brother.
That was awesome.
All right,
I love having him on, by the way. He's really good.
Oh, yeah, he's cool. I always tell him I love those Death Row Records posters behind him because being a guy
iconic, bro.
Being a guy from the LBC, like I grew up with Death Row.
Damn right.
So, James, go ahead and hit us with your plugs.
All right. So, if you want to get more in-depth stuff that I covered on Open Mic Night, Jay Hebert's Side is coming out this Monday. I'm being serious this time. I know I said it was going to be last week. I didn't intend for my entire week to be celebrated with my birthday because I am now the big 2-7. So, thank you. So this Monday, I will be covering it. It will be covered. I'm going to go over everything like I did briefly here, but definitely more, in depth, especially now that I kind of got, where everybody else is coming from as well. I'm going to explain where my thought process is as far as just the way wrestling is kind of going and where it's heading.
The state
You know,
of the industry.
Basically, yeah, it's a state of the address, I guess you could say, from the mind of this crazy fucker. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. That will be premiering this Monday. Got the thumbnail ready for it and everything. Got a new graphic too. I get to look like I'm from the future, so that's cool. So yeah, there you go for that. We have a Stable Wars planned. It is going to be with the same game that we have been using, which is the Smash Brothers mod. My friend from Australia, mate, Mistress Audio will be a part of it, as well as my boy Kuzan. I'm hoping to get on, and hopefully King A Train. I gotta talk to A Train to see if we can get him on. But plan is to have 4 people, myself included, and basically just have a good time, talk some shit, have a good time. So that is on the docket at some point. No specific date will be issued at this time, but do be on the lookout for that on Casey's channel. There is a bunch of retros that JJ has even been a part of one, the SummerSlam 2012. Oh my god. We did that retro on Owen's channel. Go check that out. We did a bunch of SummerSlams. Noah was also a part of one, the 2001.
Much
Casey,
better show I've done at, but not
yeah, Casey was a part of the 2003 one. Kuzan and Michael X was a part. Not you, King Mike X, different Michael X. Was a part of the 1992 SummerSlam, which has the all-time classic of Davey Boy Smith versus Bret Hart. Check all that out, as well as check out the recent retro that just dropped, which is the first week of football from I think it was 2018 or 2017. Doing some retros would be sweet. All right. Bet report card, man. I got you. Mikey, we'll connect. Add me on Facebook. I'll have Noah send you my info. If you can, Noah, that'd be great.
I got you.
Cool. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that I think we have coming up. Noah, I'm sure, has his stuff as well for when it comes to FTW stuff, which I still have to get on those intros. My bad, my friend. Just been very fucking hectic.
Man. Look, you already go above and beyond your creative limitations, I feel like, and set your expectations so high, so you're good, man. Besides, I can do this for fun.
I know you do. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to plug.
Once this stops being fun is when you really need to hang the headphones up and step back.
Exactly.
And this is you guys down here in particular, no disrespect to Stat Boy because you're not here every week, but you, James, and Noah are the reasons why I keep coming back every week. You guys make this such a blast to do.
Yeah, man. I try to be, try to let the autism flow a little bit,
There we go. Stat Boy, I'm going to run through my plugs here, and yours is kind of jumbled in the middle there. So once we get there, feel free to take the reins.
You got it, boss.
But lots of content coming up on my channel this month. This right here is just a small taste of all the reviews that I'm doing starting today. The original 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street, all the way up to a week from tomorrow. October 9th will be The Addams Family. All that stuff coming over the course of the week. The entire Freddy saga, not counting Freddy versus Jason, because we haven't done Friday the 13th yet, so there's no point in covering the mashup film. New release Saturday today, Don't Worry, Darling. Florence Pugh from Black Widow. She also played Soraya in Fighting with My Family, alongside Harry Styles. Great movie. Chris Pine from the Wonder Woman series is in it. The War Zone tomorrow, the weekly acquisition report, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Just me kind of showing off the latest additions to my ever-growing movie library. On Monday, Jeff and I will be back with an all-new episode of The Dads Not Always on Wrestling, as we discuss the top 10 females to never hold a singles world championship. I totally let Jeff kind of take the reins with that one. I'm not even going to lie, because aside from Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson, I couldn't really have any names come to my head because I don't know all the other championships. So I told him, just make sure those are on the list and fill it out however you want to fill it. So it's a joint production for the two of us.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday,
On Tuesday, October 4th, at a special start time, we're going to go a half an hour later because Jeff is not going to be in the production room. It's going to be Renegade, so we're going to go a little bit later in the day.
got to give me a chance to pick the kids up from school and get them home,
Exactly. Dory Lou and I will be back in the sports bar doing our normal weekly recap of the NFL. We are in week 4 right now. We'll cover a little bit of baseball. The American League playoffs are pretty much set in stone. All 6 teams have qualified. The NL is still going crazy with the Braves and the Mets fighting for the top spot. And also, we're going to officially get ready for week 1 in the NHL. We drafted our fantasy hockey teams. We have 7 teams that are raring to go. We always have room for one more to make it a nice even playoff later in the season, of course. And, of course, we have our football squares that's going on. There's the current pot for the Monday night game coming up against the Rams and the 49ers. We've got a nice simple $36 pot that's raring to go. The numbers draw will more than likely be done on Monday just before kickoff. If I might decide to do it tomorrow night, I might not. More than likely, I'm going to keep it the same though, and we'll continue on with everything. Also, everyone's celebrating birthdays, so mine is coming up on Wednesday. I turned the big 4-5, and I'm looking forward to that. Apparently, when I go to work on that day, there will be embarrassments galore, and the next day will be a small little get-together with the poker league I've been joined as of 2 months ago at the Sevierville Axe House. You can actually the running joke is alcohol and axes are for a great combination. So
no.
Yeah, we might take some pictures and actually have a few drinks and play some cards and throw some axes. Go figure. That's what we do here in Tennessee, folks.
Well, Stat Boy, let me go ahead and officially invite you back next week so we can celebrate your birthday on the show as we did James's.
Absolutely.
Like he said, make sure you tune into Stat Boy Sports Bar. As I always like to say when I promote it on my shows, the food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm. So pull up a bar stool and join Stat Boy and Dory Lou for some professional sports conversation. And then on Wednesday, the Greg Cherry Show over on the Greg Cherry brand. I'm not sure if Jeff will be joining him. If not, Greg Cherry will have somebody else joining him, probably either Big G or Josh Mansfield. Those tend to be his co-hosts if Jeff is unavailable. Thursday will be the latest installment of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We've got 3 episodes to air on my channel before we finally wrap things up. 2 more to premiere on Disney+. Rumors still abound about Daredevil, but he hasn't popped up yet. When will he show up? You have to stay tuned to find out. On Friday, Bound for Glory coverage. Pre-show starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Noah and James on the call, myself in the production booth, as I won't be able to physically watch it, but I'll be producing the commentary and giving my thoughts on the matches as they unfold. Saturday, we've got Rob Zombie's The Munsters for new release Saturday. Let me just say that was definitely an interesting watch. It is on Netflix, so it is free to watch if you have a Netflix account. Give it a view. If you're a fan of The Munsters, it's basically a prequel to the TV series. It's how Herman and Lily met. So don't expect it to be identical to the TV show. It's kind of a prequel to the TV show.
I have a problem with this because I see no Munster cheese. They lied to me. False advertising.
When Herman gets named, it's actually Munster like the cheese, and the dude.
Okay.
Never mind. On Saturday, it'll be Extreme Rules. Myself and Noah on the commentary. James will be here as well. Predictions.
RIP conservative suggestions.
The whole shebang. Once again, coverage beginning at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. I'm looking forward to this because, as we touched on, every match announced so far has an extreme stipulation, unlike last year where there was one Extreme Rules match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, make sure you guys tune in to NoDQ.com and their YouTube channel for Aaron's Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown recaps, as well as the NoDQ review on Thursdays. I tend to pop in there from time to time. Noah tends to pop in there from time to time. Jeff is a panelist occasionally. You never know who's going to be on the panel on Thursdays. The Multiverse of Media covering all these pay-per-views and PLEs as we approach the new year. We've got so much in store, as I continue to say here, coming across Casa D18 Studios, Simple Man Studios, the Jeff Meacham Network, all building to a New Year's Eve showdown. We're going to be live, open mic night on New Year's Eve. What better way to bring in the new year than to do it safely from the comfort of your own home where you know you're not going to get into any kind of, too perilous of shenanigans out there in the real world.
I'll be watching my Three Stooges marathon as we are on the air live.
There we go.
Oh, you said the Three Stooges. I was a Three Stooges trivia buff, man. I used to watch that all the time.
Man, that was like the funniest show for me as a kid, man. I discovered him by accident once on television.
And the reason why slapstick comedy exists.
Yeah, man. That's my type of comedy right there. I'm a slapstick kind of guy.
Cal44, calm down in the chat room. As I'm doing the plugs, I cannot see the comments as they pop up, okay?
Yes. And also,
please try to calm down because you come off as very rude doing it that way. How do you start your YouTube? Honestly, I'm not trying to sound rude here, but there's tutorials that walk you through it. Like you go to start it up and they take you step by step by step. I do a lot of my broadcasts through StreamYard. It is a paid subscription. So you can go to StreamYard.com, set up an account. Again, it'll walk you step by step on how to do live stream broadcasts from the production studio like I have that I'm producing, projecting it onto YouTube, projecting it onto Facebook, Twitter, etc. But a lot of it is trial by error. Nobody showed me how to do it. Even Jeff, who's one of my friends and somebody who I tried to emulate very early on in my career, didn't hold my hand and walk me through all this. I trialed and errored. That's why a lot of my shows, if you go back and you watch early episodes of Renegades reviews, compare it to the ones that go up now, you can see all kinds of differences in the production value.
Yeah.
And the way things improved as I learned things.
Exactly what JJ said. You don't do it. You don't get it right off the bat. No. There's a lot of trial and error when it comes to doing YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been doing YouTube since 2008, and some of my early videos are not pretty at all. And I will be the first to tell you how bad they were. And I've slowly grown to where I run, CAW League essentially, which is like a full-on production.
Thank you, Keen Mike X. I appreciate that.
It's really, it all comes down to how you go about doing your channel, because your method might not be the same as my method, might not be the same as JJ or Noah's method, might not be the same as Statboy's method. We all have our own ways of doing YouTube. Some people like to host a show on somebody else's channel. Other people like to run their own production like me. Yeah. Sometimes they like to have multiple shows like JJ or Noah.
Yeah.
Whatever
like
fancies you.
Mikey doesn't produce his own shit. For the longest time, Jeff has produced Statboy Sports Bar. Here in recent weeks, when Jeff hasn't been available, I've stepped in and produced it. None of Mikey's shows that he has ever done have been produced by himself.
Yeah,
going back to the old days when we would just set up a hard cam, press record, and he would sit down and he would talk for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And then I'd go back, edit it, upload it, whatever.
Exactly. Everything he's saying is truth. I mean, I took plenty of classes in college, but I never really got to edit. I never really got to. I could write. I mean, I could sit down. I do it every week. I sit down in front of my computer. I watch the football games. I keep an eye on the stats, and whenever the commentators, throw out a bit of trivia, I don't copy them word for word. I just say it as if I'm sitting at the dinner table. That's a good way to start. That's a good way to practice. Like if you're sitting with your family at the table and you just bring up a topic, I mean that's how I got my start. I essentially copied VH1 I Love the Series. They gave me a topic and they said talk about it for 2 minutes. So I did. And then, everyone was talking about wrestling, so I jumped in on the wrestling. Then I decided to branch out, and I thought, well, I don't want to do video games. I don't want to do daily life. I'll do sports because I love the numbers. I want to know how many times a basketball player has made a free throw in a game. I want to know how many times, find your niche, find what you want to talk about, and talk about it. And then
Mikey, Statboy has always been an on-air talent. Back in college, he was on the campus news show as the weather reporter.
Mm-hmm.
He would always get in there and he would give the weather forecast for the course of the week. When we did our TV production class, every week we would have to produce a new talk show. Think Oprah, think Sally Jesse, think Jerry Springer without all the dramatics.
Mm-hmm.
Where it would be the moderator host and you'd have a couple people on the pro side, couple people on the con side. Mikey was always either a host or one of the talents on the other side. He was very rarely ever in the booth helping to run stuff because he just always had that gift to gab.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that is our advice to you.
Do whatever you want to do, and trial and error is your friend, not your enemy.
Exactly. Before we get to Noah to take us out of here, I have a real heroes don't wear capes moment, and I have my song lyrics for this week, my quote for this week. Under the real heroes don't always wear capes. I want to give a quick shout out to the cast members at Disney World, Florida. Here you see a bunch of the costumed characters sitting down watching TV with the kids while the hurricane was striking and people could not leave the hotels. The kids that paid for vacations couldn't go into the parks. They couldn't even leave the property to try and go to the quote unquote downtown restaurants or whatnot because Hurricane Ian was striking so hard. So some of the costume characters came out there to the lobby to help keep the kids entertained and calm through everything that was going on.
That's respect.
Disney always gets crapped on for being such this evil entity because of how they buy up everything. They own a monopoly. They've got Disney, they've got Marvel, they've got Fox, so they own The Simpsons and Family Guy and all the stuff that's under their umbrella. And it's like occasionally you see something like this and it's like, that's Walt right there.
Yeah.
That's something Walt would make sure to have.
That's his vision.
That's something too. And even then, you mentioned some of these properties they did buy out. That's absolutely something. Why am I blanking on the original creator's name of Star Wars?
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Yeah, thank you. That's something he would have done. That's absolutely something that Wow, my brain is fucked up today. The creator of Marvel, help me, please. Stanley. That's right. Yeah, Stanley. Sorry, I don't know. My brain trying to have the settlement a moment. My brain does a fuck. But
I mean, it's 1 a.m. in the morning here. You need to get some sleep.
I love.
That's why I'm trying to wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, the only reason I mentioned those two is because it's absolutely something they would have done as well. And
exactly, and then
crazy,
go into my quote for the week. If the world had a front porch like we did back then, we'd still have our problems, but we'd all be friends. Treating your neighbor like he's your next of kin wouldn't be gone with the wind. If the world had a front porch like we did back then.
Yep. Amen to that.
Reflect on that, folks.
You know, it's a quote. It's a quote that's always kind of stuck with me, and it's my favorite song by that artist. The artist is Tracy Lawrence, country artist who was really popular in the mid '90s. And you just sit there and you think about those words, and it's like, man, if the world had a front porch like we did back in the old days, you just sit there and bullshit and talk all your problems out.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to agree with everybody, but we can still get along. Period.
Yeah,
point blank.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Let's see what we got here. We've got Matt Helms saying good night.
We got Elizabeth. She said good night
Yes,
as well.
I made sure to star that.
I appreciate it, Elizabeth.
Good night, guys. This is fun. Really love open mic night. We enjoyed you being here, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us for the ride.
Appreciate your support.
Mikey T said that he actually got invited to an early screening of Don't Worry, Darling, and it was a crazy ending. Absolutely. I'm not going to spoil it, but it definitely got a great twist ending. Noah, do what you do best. Take us out of here, please, sir.
I've been part of this crazy internet world of content creativity and video engagement since October 18th, 2018. Good grief almighty. God bless all you. This is continuing to be fun. It's not leaving anytime soon. But folks, you want to know more about me? Know this. I am just truly a simple man and a lifelong fan of, professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Foster 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire ACW family on Twitter. Again, JJ covered basically what I'll be doing as part of the multiverse of media this weekend, as I will be bringing you live play-by-play coverage of Bound for Glory and Extreme Rules, as I will properly name. I will also, of course, continue to bring out all elite coverage of Anniversary Week on Steve Fall's Daily Slam right here on YouTube, both Wednesday and Friday night after Rampage and Battle of the Belts go back to back. And stay tuned for my fellow Daily Slam correspondent, Thea, who covers all things Impact Wrestling, as she will bring you coverage of this week's Go Home. I might be with her too during that one, but also a review of Bound for Glory. And following this week, James, we have to re-engage with the family to figure out once again our monthly forum, the ACW View Impromptu, when we look back at the month of September and all things wrestling.
I will be producer man for that one, just for the record.
All right, you do you. And again, I just do me. I keep everything simple and live. Speaking of keeping things simple and live, stay tuned, of course, for me and Jerry of 1,000 Names. That will also be doing a live Sipping and Predicting panel on Bound for Glory this Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tentative time, preview discussing that preview in full. And also, I will try and work with Christopher Rods, of course, and the Noti Q Galaxy panel to bring you a Sipping and Predicting panel on Extreme Rules. And stay tuned, of course, Tuesday night, live on Noti Q, YouTube, and platforms too, for, of course, our Extreme Rules premium predictions as well. And yes, I will have leak forms for both Bound for Glory and Extreme Rules. There's and so much more coming up too, just this week alone in professional wrestling content creativity. Not just from me, but from this fun family of fellow engagers and friends too. But as always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling too. It's as simple as that.
Couldn't say it any better myself. That's why I always let Noah take it home. For those of you that wonder that even though why I'm the moderator and producer of this now, why I let Noah close it, right there. Can't say it any better. So for Stat Boy Mike Caldwell, thank you once again for coming in and joining us.
You're welcome.
For James Hebert, for Noah Foster, for Jeff Meacham, who was able to tune in and join us briefly at the beginning.
And for
Mikey
Report Card
T,
Radio.
I was getting there. For Mikey T, who came in there and joined us towards the end. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. And until next time, we will catch you guys later.
Spooky, scary skeleton.